All right, Mac, we're home free here on the College Basketball Experience. Time to pick some games for the Tuesday, November 19th college basketball slate. Game number one that we are going to discuss today as I get my odds pulled up here. Quinnipiac at Navy. The Bobcats laying 1.5 at the midshipmen. Mac, your thoughts?
What's the depth of insanity? Continuing to do the same thing, expecting something different. I am locking up Navy. They have lost 2 straight home games as a favorite. Now they're a dog against Quinnipiac. Come on, man. Let's go. Navy, this one has got to be the spot. They're going to win this game outright. I will lock up the midshipmen. Noah, where are you going?
I'm going to counter you. I'm not betting it, though, but I'm taking the Bobcats plus 1.5. This is my MAAC preseason champion. I'm not fading them at a Navy team that's been struggling so far this year.
It's a Zaquaduck shit out of here. Let's go. Midshipmen. Lock it up.
Yeah, I'm with Lysol Shield. Smash that like button, please. We're working over here on the channel to get to 15,000 subscribers by the new year. That's the new goal here. So all of the Google accounts that you guys have, go over there. Subscribe on YouTube to the College Experience. We've got plenty of content coming. Feast Week is right around the corner, but even more, college football playoff, if that interests anybody. College baseball season previews, if that is your fancy. But every single day, we are here picking college basketball games. Let's get back to it. Game number 2 on the slate. Loyola, Maryland at Boston College. Are the Greyhound good enough to take advantage of a bad Eagles team?
They do have a common opponent. They both were absolutely destroyed by VCU. So you do have a little tuck job opportunity if anybody wants to tuck. Little tranny action going on there. I'm going to go – I think I'm going to take the points with the Greyhounds. I'm not laying 12.5 with BC. Get out of here.
Yeah, and BC's also got a trip to the Cayman Islands next. Ooh. I am also going to take the points with Loyola, Maryland. Let's talk about Longwood at Binghamton. In this one here, Longwood is laying 6. Mac, do you lay with Longwood?
So this is Longwood's first away game away from home. They're good at Farmville. I question if they cover this game on the road. I want to take the golf course here as a home dog. But I don't think I want to bet the golf course because they haven't beaten anybody or they haven't beaten a Division I, but they've also played only bye games so far.
Yeah, this is their first home game against a D1 opponent. And Mac, Longwood this Friday, the Virgin Islands.
Oh, man, this is tempting, man. All right. You talked me into it. I'm locking up the golf course. Don't be a coward.
Letting you know that they'll be looking ahead to their little trip.
I'll see you on the 19th hole. Longwood should have lost on Saturday. They got lucky. You're going to lose this one. Binghamton, +6. Lock it up. I think you can get 6.5 somewhere.
Rob Donaldson. He goes, Longwood on the Virgin Islands.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, they're lays wood, scattered ass with that Longwood over there.
Yes,
more head over less
head. Yeah, we're going to just continue this thing on from last night if we go a little bit further down this road. Queens takes on Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina. The Mountaineers laying 8.5 points. Mac, one Mountaineer to another. Are you backing them this game?
No. I'm locking up Queens. I don't think Queens is as bad as they were out west. Coming back to the state of North Carolina, I like this Queens team finally playing somebody on their level of competition. I think this is an inflated line. App State still living off of last year's really good team. They're still trying to figure out their identity. I love Queens. I think they have a chance to win the game outright, to be honest.
All righty then. I am going to take the points with Queens, but I'm not betting it yet either. Yeah, chat's calling for Queens outright too. Trevor,
Let's go,
Vandenbosch Jones,
TVJ.
and
Little royal action. Here's your royal flush. Queens.
there you go. That's great. Niagara at Bowling Green. The Falcons are laying 8.5 points. I am going to lock up Bowling Green in this game. You can do a little bit of a tuck job on this one as well. Both teams played Michigan State. Bowling Green gave Sparty a little run for their money. Niagara got stomped on by them. 36-point loss in East Lansing, where Bowling Green was challenging to win the game for parts of that. I just hope that they're not too physically worn down from Sparty being you typical lean on you type of team and take over in the second half. But I'm riding the Todd Simon program. I've bet them a couple of times this season already. Bowling Green is my first bet of the day. -8, -9.5. Did that just change?
Yeah. You worried that's a tad too high?
No. Cocktail Napkins got them laying 11.
Okay. I'm gonna take the points just because I like to fade the teams that like have a little bit of deflating that they didn't get the bye game done. They should have wanted Sparty, or they were right there. They were the better team. Give me on Niagara and the points here. I don't think I'm gonna bet it though.
This line, this line just moved pretty much across the board while we were doing the show, unfortunately. So I'll settle on 9.5. I still like the spot. Bowling Green is my first lock of the day. The next game on our slate, Mac. Oh God, another Big Five game for Villanova here. Does this team care to beat their little brothers? Like, all these Philly teams, they get up for one game on the schedule each season, and it's Villanova. They circle this thing in the Big Five, and they want to beat Villanova. Villanova has struggled to guard the three ball this season. They are laying 14.5 points. No team in the top 10 conferences power rated by KenPom, because that's the only thing that I've gone through and adjusted on the cocktail napkin in the last couple of days. No team has suffered more of a decrease in power rating since the beginning of the season than Villanova. And it's totally understandable because this team blows right now. Mac, what are you doing in this game?
That's a good question. I think I'm taking Penn. I'm not laying that big a number with Villanova. I think
Lysol Shield says it's not enough. He's laying alt line -22 with the Wildcats.
Penn beat him last year outright, so it's St. Joe's. St. Joe's beat him again this year. I feel like Penn's going to beat him. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, who's Villanova to lay anything? They suck. Are they really going to play for him? I don't think so.
I have no idea. I'm taking the points because Villanova hasn't shown me a sign of a pulse yet this season. So, and puts, yes, we are talking about tomorrow's college basketball games. Welcome to the show, brother. The college basketball experience here. We're every night talking college basketball picks against the spread and on the money lines. I'm going to take the Quakers in that one. Cocktail Napkin, for what it's worth, has Villanova -16, but I cannot take the Wildcats with any sort of faith right now during the season. Hofstra at Florida State, really interesting game here, Mac. Florida State, the Seminoles laying 7.5 points here at home. What are you going to do here?
I will lock up the Seminoles. Hofstra, third straight road game. They had a hell of a week, team of the week in the CAA. You know my strategy. Whoever I give the team of the week to, they're on fade the next game. Florida State coming off the Florida loss. I actually think Florida State's been all right this year. So I think they pull away late and they win by double digits. Just a fade of the travel spot here, beating UMass, beating Seton Hall last week. Great spot for the Seminoles to blow this thing open.
I see where you're going with this one. But I'm going to take the points with Hofstra. I like the experience that they have. Sorry. I like the experience that Hofstra has, and I like what they've got going right now. Beat Seton Hall, beat UMass. I think this is just a sign of a good team. Stefan Cunningham, he asked if the cocktail napkin is Rhythm. Rhythm's a new sponsor to the show this season. For those that have been around since 2 years ago, cocktail napkin established in 2022. Hofstra money line from Brian C. He says you heard it here first. Speedy got them playing. By the way, Speedy liked one of your posts the other day.
I know. Speedy's over here retweeting me, and I'm saying Florida State tomorrow, maybe Seminole. No. Dude, this is North Florida Georgia all over again. Everybody's talking themselves into they're overreacting to the moment. It's been a good story. It was a great win at UMass, great win against Seton Hall. Now it's a third straight road spot in a bye game. Time for Seminoles to pull away double digits. Lock up the Noles. Who are the Seminoles? Next up.
All right. Yeah, let's have some fun. This beat is sick. I want to take a ride in this little brother angle on Northern Kentucky against Cincinnati. I'm going to take the 14 points right now that you can get with the Norse against Cincinnati. Somehow, Northern Kentucky, NKU, is hosting this little MTE. They threw Nicholls State in it as well alongside Cincinnati, and NKU gets to host the Bearcats. This has been like their big home game in the non-conference that they've circled. Mm-hmm. I think that they don't win it. It's going to be maybe even a struggle to cover the 14. That's why I'm not betting it here, Mac, because Cincinnati's looked like a little bit of a buzzsaw themselves so far this season. But I think it's just enough that NKU covers the 14 here.
Oh, I'm betting NKU. They beat them outright 2 years ago at NKU when they played in their arena. NKU, yes, they are 0-3. But if you really look into it, outside of the Nicholls game, they lost at the buzzer. They were competitive with Purdue, and they were competitive with Florida State. Now they're at home against Cincinnati. Little brother angle all day. Give me the Norse. They're live in this game. I think Cincinnati pulls away late, wins by 7 or 8. Give me the Norse. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. Welcome, Puts. Glad to have you in here. He says, love early looks. Every single night, Puts, hit that subscribe button. We're looking to get 15K before New Year's here. Skillings is out for a couple of weeks, I heard. Dan Skillings for Cincinnati. Yeah, so that is something that I read on Twitter, I do believe. So just taking the points there. Let's talk about Lipscomb at Kentucky. The Wildcats laying 21 points, Mac. It seems like a lot.
So how much better is Kentucky than Arkansas this year?
I hate to admit it, but I think there's a little bit of gap.
Like 7-8 points better, or 3 or 4 points better?
I would say 3 or 4.
Okay, so on opening night, they were getting 14, now they're getting 21.
That is a good point.
Kentucky's off of the Duke win, the game of the year. Mark Pope, Gatorade spot. This is Lipscomb. Lock it up. Kentucky's going to win by 10 to 15. I think it's just not a stomp spot for Kentucky here. Lipscomb is also like blowout. Like they don't really get blown out with their style of play. They just keep coming at you in waves.
I'll counter that. Like if they're missing their threes, they will get blown out. But when they're shooting threes at a volume like that, like typically they're staying in those games. Yes. So I like Lipscomb as well. Cocktail napkin, for what it's worth, has Kentucky minus 16 in this one. Ironically, that's the same amount of points Arkansas beat them by. That was not done on purpose in the cocktail napkin. It's just the way that the numbers have spit it out. So I'm right there with you. Love this Lipscomb team. And yeah, I mean, Arkansas coming off the Duke win. It has been a week since that big W, but heads might be a little bit too big for the doorway right now. I think Lipscomb gets the cover here.
And Lipscomb had two not heartbreak, but like the Belmont was a heartbreak, and Western Kentucky, they played right to the wire as well. So like two back-to-back tough losses. They're going to be super focused for this one. Let's go Lipscomb. Double lock. We'll go double lock with this music today, baby. Lipscomb. Let's go Bison.
We've got Cleveland State at Minnesota also tomorrow in the barn, the most overrated home environment in the country. The Vikings catching 14.5 points at Minnesota. Mac, your thoughts on, I mean, Golden Gophers, sky might be falling a little bit here recently, but Cleveland State might give them a nice dose of bounce back.
Yeah, I kind of want to lay it. I don't want to bet this game.
I mean, Cleveland State lost by 13 to Kansas State. Right there near the number. Kansas State's got their own issues. I am going to lay the points with Minnesota, but I don't feel I have no feel on this one, honestly. I could go either which way. But I think that this is more of a get right spot for Minnesota.
The more and more I'm looking at, is Cleveland State kind of just a brand name still from a couple years ago with Dennis Gates? They're not good.
I mean, yeah, it's tough to judge their body of work from this particular season, but I don't believe I had them, rated too highly coming into the year. I thought there were a couple other programs that were better than them in the Horizon League in the preseason. They had a couple of transfers that are starting for them this year, new point guard. So I don't know. I'm not too high on Cleveland State. I do respect them, but I'm going to take Minnesota.
I'll take. I'm going to take. I'll play with Minnesota.
My fault. I didn't mute myself there. Let's go to North Dakota at Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish laying 19, Mac.
Should we lock North Dakota?
I like Notre Dame. I'm going to keep riding this wave.
They're off the sports show win.
It's not a big win. Like I don't think Georgetown's like the get up and go beat Georgetown win. I know Shrewsbury was in the running for the Hoyas job, but I don't think it's anything more than that.
I like the Hawks. This is a fringe lock. Check the picks page. It's too many points for them.
Whatever. I'm going to lay the points with Notre Dame. You say it's too many points, but they covered this number against Georgetown.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they're due for a little bit of regression. They got a big one against Elon coming up too. Elon's a big game.
Well, it actually is because Elon's coach, his name is escaping me, but he went to Notre Dame.
Billy Taylor, yeah, Billy Taylor, yep,
yeah. So it does mean a little bit.
Game for Billy Taylor. I get what you're saying.
Sure, sandwich game, whatever. SIU Edwardsville at Green Bay. The Phoenix laying 2 points here, Mac. I have no idea what Doug Gottlieb's team is going to give me on a day-to-day basis. They show up for the big teams, but they also got shit on by our Tommies 90-76 the other night when they were hosting. It's their second home game of the season after that St. Thomas blowout loss. But SIUE has been pretty good this season too, Mac.
I think I'm going to lock Green Bay. I love Edwardsville. I love what they did, but this is their fourth game in how many days now? 8? Fourth game in 8 days. Fourth road game. Green Bay's actually not
just say
bad.
Third game in 4 days. Third game in 5 days, whatever that math is.
They're 4 straight road games.
That's a better sell.
road game.
True. Yeah.
I mean, they've been on the road. I'm going to lock Green Bay. I'm not a big Gottlieb guy, but they actually got some dudes on that team. They did a good job.
They've got some players.
Yeah. So give me the Phoenix. Good spot here. I don't think they drop another home game. The Phoenix will rise.
I am going to take the Cougars.
Battle?
Cocktail Napkin has this one much higher than I feel comfortable saying on the stream. This is just it doesn't like Green Bay this year. But I've watched Green Bay a couple of times now. They pass the eye test a little bit more than the Cocktail Napkin gives them respect for. So I'm not going to bet the Cougars here. We'll see what Green Bay does in their second home game. But I think the wrong team's favored. I think SIU wins this game. Mac, are we calling them East Texas A&M or are we calling them Texas A&M Commerce? Whatever their name is, they are going to get it absolutely stripped off by UConn in whichever way sort of fashion, because UConn is laying 37.5. It's a matter of, if and will, because I think UConn's going to be able to stretch this thing out to 37.5. It's just, are you willing to lay the 37.5 and bet it against Commerce?
I think I'm going to take Commerce. They got Maui on deck. I think they win by 33.
I'm confused reading Rob Donaldson's text here.
Are you saying that, Rob, Commerce is the best team they've faced? I think Commerce is the best team that they've faced.
If he says they're the most competent shit team, I don't know what component is, but maybe competent, and that he's betting East Texas A&M now.
I see his angle. I mean, if this gets above 40, I'll bet Commerce. I'll say that.
I'm not willing to jump in front of that freight train. I think UConn can put up as many points as they want in this one.
Are they? Are they going to be motivated to embarrass Commerce?
They were motivated to embarrass whatever and any team in the NCAA tournament by 50 points every single game. So
have they won by 40 yet? Yeah, they won one game by 40 plus. I'll wait for 40. If it gets over 40, I'm
gonna lay it for the show. Milwaukee at Duquesne. The Dukes are somehow laying 5.5 points here. I don't know how you can feel comfortable laying points with Duquesne, but Milwaukee has not looked as good as we had kind of thought they were going to coming into the season. Mac, your thoughts here?
I'm going back to the well. Another insanity play. I refuse to. I refuse to believe Milwaukee's this bad. I have a big coaching advantage here. Bart Lundy's a really good coach versus a first-year head coach. Give me Milwaukee third to snap their 2-game losing streak. They're going to win outright at Duquesne. Let's go.
I like the pick. I'm taking the points as well here.
All right. Solo, give me the Panthers. Milwaukee.
Troy at West Virginia tomorrow. The Trojans are laying 13.5. Mac, this is a tough travel spot for Troy after coming back from Eugene, Oregon earlier this weekend. A lot of points on the road. West Georgia, have they played a home game yet this season?
I thought you said West Virginia. I was like, West Virginia doesn't play tomorrow. I don't want to talk about West Virginia.
Did I say West Virginia?
I thought you said – maybe I misheard you and you said Georgia.
This is West Georgia's first home game as a Division I team. I think this is law. We have to bet this. I like the travel spot. I like the moment, like the get up spot for West Georgia here. The Wolves, I think they get on the board ATS. They cover here. I think they've covered one. I think they covered the Tennessee Tech game. But they're live to win this game. I'm not going to call for it, but they're live to win it.
I agree. I like taking the team in their first ever Division I home game. And Troy, I mean, goddamn, they've been on the road for a minute now. They played at Oregon, like you said. They were at Arkansas. Before that, I know that's not a far travel spot, but still. And they were at New Orleans. This is a fourth straight road game. Lang 13.5. Let's go. Double lock on the West Georgia Wolves. Forgot their mascot. I like Yang. Let's go.
I mean, I think people would forgive you. They're still new to the D1. Only played 4 games. But yeah, the West Georgia Wolves, welcome to Division I. I think they're live to win it. I don't know if they do. Troy's a very, very good team. But
too many points. Too many points.
Dartmouth at Marist. Is this enough points against Dartmouth? The question about Marist is like, offensively, they're not very efficient. They can get the job done on the defensive side. How many points Dartmouth is going to put up? Not very many. So is Marist going to be able to cover if they put up like 60 or whatever? My thoughts, Mac, I'm going to lay the points with Marist. I think this is a low-scoring game, and the Red Foxes get it done by double digits.
Yeah, I think I probably will lay with Marist. Dartmouth is just kind of – they are off a 30-point beatdown, but they're also off an Albany loss too. They're just not very good. I'll lay with Marist. No. I've actually been somewhat impressed in that they're competent. Let's go, Marist.
Is Marist really this good, says Lysol Shields. I am not like buying into Marist long term here. They did lose by 13 to Harvard, who's not looking too well to start the season. But Marist has had a very good defense in that program for a couple of years now. And that's always going to travel. And even here at home, they're going to play up, I think. And Dartmouth is just not capable of covering this number yet this season. Hampton at UMBC. Mac, this also like screams to me like this is not enough points.
What are you seeing the number at?
UMBC -7.
Yeah, I don't have a feel on Hampton. I like Hampton. I like the coaching hire. I think he's going to be good long term. But was it a kitchen sink game against Norfolk State on Saturday? We know how much that game means to that region with Norfolk and Hampton being right there. I probably will lay it with UMBC. The more and more I think about it, and UMBC is off of a upset loss.
Mac, I'm going to lock this. Hampton's also heading to the Cayman Islands next.
Okay.
I don't think this is enough points.
I think I'm with you. I think UMBC, I locked them against Coppin. They completely rolled them. I think they're going to drill Hampton here as well. So let's go. UMBC, double lock. They beat up on bad teams.
The bed and breakfast. Go in there and enjoy your free continental breakfast at the Hampton Inn. Chats with
Colby.
us.
Hey, Colby would be locked battling us.
No way. No.
No, he locks the same teams every night. Bethune-Cookman, Hampton, and who else does he like?
Yeah, we've got Bethune-Cookman coming up later on this slate too. For what it's worth, Evansville at Ohio State. The Purple Aces are getting 26.5 points against the Buckeyes. Good God, everybody! This hat doesn't signal hate on Ohio State. But this is way too many points, guys. Ohio State shouldn't be laying 26.5 against anybody.
I'm not betting Evansville, though. They have sold in 3 straight away games in the second half. I'll take Evansville, but I'm not betting them. You locking it?
I'm also taking Evansville. Cocktail Napkin has it 21.5.
It's 2 possessions.
Yeah, it is.
You're locking it. Come on.
I want to, but I think Ohio State coming off the loss, they might be pissed. So that's the only reason that's going to keep me off of this.
Boo.
Gardner Webb.
You're wearing a Michigan hat. You got 2 possessions of value against Ohio State. Michigan, Ohio State's next weekend. You're supposed to be in fuck Ohio State mode. You should be locking this.
I want to, but I don't know.
Peer pressure. Give in. Come on, give in. Let's go.
No.
Give the
Gardner
people what
Webb
they want.
at Charlotte. The 49ers just fired their football coach, Biff Poggi, who also Biff Poggi was a O-line coach for the Michigan Wolverines. And he got fired mid-season by Charlotte. The Fighting Clits.
Is this too many points?
Colby would be locking this game. This is the game. Colby is like, this is just going to be bad luck for the athletic department to be firing Biff in his second year in the middle of the year after so many injuries that they had in the preseason. Do it for Biff, and not really do it for Biff, but like it's the curse of Biff. So I'm going to take the points with Gardner Webb here against Charlotte. Mac, your thoughts?
So a little bit of a tranny tuck job here. Charlotte was laying 12.5 against Presbyterian. I think Gardner Webb is much better than Presbyterian. I think Gardner Webb's competent. You gave Pitt the national championship. They lost by 18 there. They beat North Carolina Central on the road. They actually looked all right at Tennessee, who always drills teams in the bye games. The Big South has been better than we have expected and talked about. There goes my light. I'm going to lock up Gardner Webb here in a little brother in-state battle here. Give me Gardner Webb. Lock it up, baby. G-Webb.
All right. Rob Donaldson says Bulldogs money line. Lock it up. Running Bulldogs.
It's fucking light. Break down the next game.
Great game you left me to break down here. Wagner at BU. The Terriers are laying 5 points. The cocktail napkin has them laying 4. Boston is, I think, better than their record shows. They're currently 1-3, but they played UCLA. They got destroyed by them. They lost to San Diego, which is a bad loss, but that was on the road, tough travel across the entire country. And Northeastern's looked all right. They destroyed Dartmouth. I think this is another game where Boston's going to be able to flex on their opponent a little bit here. I'll lay the points with the Terriers against Wagner. Mac Wagner last game, 28 points. St. John's, 45 points. They scored 94 against Menor, so you at least see some pulse on the offense, but 52 points against Rutgers. They haven't set themselves up for offensive success, I'll say, because all 3 of those D1 teams are really good defensively. But I like Boston enough this season to lay the points in this matchup.
The only thing I don't like is Boston is off of they're off a blowout win. So and Wagner got humiliated on national TV. I actually think I'm going to take Wagner, but I don't want to bet this one. I think it should be a close game.
Florida Agricultural and Mechanical takes on Florida University. Mac, this is 35-point line. FAMU has been brutal in recent seasons. Florida has no look ahead. I mean, they crushed Jacksonville by 21. They beat South Florida by 15, Grambling by 24. Can they beat a team by 35 points? I don't know. I love this Florida team this year for what it's worth, but it seems like too many points, dude.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of points. but man, they drill teams. They're Florida's trying to turn it into an auto take in this in these bye games. Because they play an up tempo style where they play a lot of possessions, like Auburn.
Yeah, you're right. But
these SEC teams are corrupt. They're fucking into they're manipulating the net, Noah. That's what
too many
doing.
points for me. Too many points. If anything, I like the team total for Florida look that Trevor's saying in the YouTube chat. That would be the only thing that I would advise anybody to do in this one. Buffalo at Vermont. The Catamounts are laying 14.5 points, Mac. That's quite a bit. Quite a bit for the Cats. I mean, when we're talking system plays, when it gets to Vermont in the America East time, we're not even really comfortable laying 14.5. This is quite a big number. And Vermont lost to Auburn, lost to Merrimack, lost to Iona the last 3 straight games here. This is their home opener. But Buffalo's been, I don't know what the correct word here is, but they competed against Notre Dame. They only lost by 9. They beat Old Dominion. The thing that does it for me, Mac, the home opener at Patrick Gymnasium, and also Bryant beat this team by 23. Vermont is much better than Bryant in their own conference. I'll lay the points for Vermont, but I do not advise anybody to bet this.
You don't advise me to bet this game?
I wouldn't, no, but if you do it, you're a maniac.
I'm locking up Buffalo. Vermont's a system play in America East play. Buffalo, throw out the Bryant game. They competed at Notre Dame. And I just think Vermont is still trying to find themselves. They don't usually peak until late December and early January. They're not playing well right now. I don't think that they're all of a sudden going to play well for a Buffalo home game. I will lock up the Blue Bulls. Too many points. Vermont wins by 10. No Blue Bulls.
It's not really in their DNA to blow teams out.
Until league play.
They don't even blow, like 14 in league play. We still are not comfortable laying that every single night in the America East. Brandon saying Buffalo's not good. I tend to believe that, but this season they've at least gotten up to in a couple of spots here this season to keep me off of.
They've Vermont. Won a road game, and they lost by 9 at Notre Dame.
And Vermont's not looked that great so far this season. So. Yeah, just 1-3 to start.
How did Vermont beat UAB? It's still one of the most perplexing games looking back on it, and they haven't won since.
No, Delaware State at Providence, the Friars laying 21.5 points. Mac, what are your thoughts here?
Has it overcorrected where everybody wants to fade the Big East? Is it time to take the Big East now?
No.
I'll lay it
Villanova, you should not be taking Villanova in that game.
Well, Villanova's an exception. Villanova's like I didn't bet that game. I wanted to take Penn, but the spot should be Villanova, but I can't take Villanova. I think you lay it with Providence. I think Providence is due for a nice smash spot here.
I don't know. Got Bahamas on deck. And Cocked on the Napkin has this right on the number, 21 points. Picking it at 21.5. I'm going to go with Delaware State. I don't love this pick either, for what it's worth. Delaware State really kind of hasn't given me too much to really believe in. And they've played 2 straight. They've played 2 straight non-D1s. They got blown out by 21 against Columbia. But I just think that this is a sleepwalk spot for Providence. They look forward to the Bahamas trip where they're supposed to get Bryce Hopkins back. I think this is the last dud before that.
Providence has failed to cover the number 2 straight. I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger. Delaware State, they just played 2 D2s. They got drilled by Columbia by 20. They got drilled by Virginia Tech by 20. I think Providence is actually better than Virginia Tech. Give me Providence. This is going to be the spot. Get some momentum headed into the MTE. I'll lock it up. Let's go. Let's get some magic in the dunk. Finally, Lance and Chuck.
Yeah, for what it's worth. I mean, this slate might not be the most attractive, sexy, what you want, but typically, like in the college football weeks that don't have as many ranked versus ranked games, it's where a lot of controversy tends to, happen and take place. And Mac, the I would say the game that I think it would just be the epitome of college sports and just chaos is if Bellarmine somehow competed once again with Louisville. Louisville's minus 25 against the white guys in the inner city. And I just think that somehow, some way, Pat Kelsey's got Winthrop on deck, his former program. This could have chaos written in it. So I'm going to take the points with Bellarmine against the Cardinals. You're saying a good call over there. Should I lock this? Cocktail Napkin has this only plus 21.
I like the look ahead angle. I feel like Bellarmine's a good team to take as like a 25-point dog because they're going to slow this shit down like crazy.
And Donaldson's saying the line keeps climbing. This is, again, like Louisville, very, very public team. This would be a line that you want to bet pre-tip. But
agreed. Yeah, I'll lock up Bellarmine. Who's better, VCU or Louisville? I think VCU is better than Louisville.
They're both very, very similar. I think right now, I think Louisville. Actually, no, I think VCU is rated a little bit higher.
That number on opening night was 21.5. So I think you're getting a couple extra points of value, and it's a little brother angle.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Let's jump in on Bellarmine.
Let's go. This Louisville shit out of here.
No, this isn't the double lock song.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Kenny Payne might be out. Louisville still sucks. No. They also had 10 days off. Yeah. They have not played since that Tennessee game. I don't know how they're going to respond off 10 days. That's a lot of games. So, yeah.
Bellarmine plus 25. Canisius heads to Maryland. They are 30.5-point dogs here against the Terps as well. Maryland has Villanova next.
And they're off of Marquette. Give me Canisius. I'm not betting Canisius, so I need to see something ASAP because they're not very good.
No, I thought Christian would have some sort of pulse early on in the season, but they've gotten drilled every single game. Even Western Michigan beat them by 20 plus. So I'm just taking the points. Not even close to being tempted in betting in this, but I think it's a good spot for any team that's competent. But Golden Griffs plus 30.5 is the pick there. Tennessee Tech takes a trip to Orlando, Florida. UCF is laying 25.5. Mac, you're Mr. Big 12. What are your thoughts here?
This is too much. I think, so UCF, like I said, they have the Greenbrier Classic on deck. Tennessee, and they're off FAU, and they've played some big-time games here recently. You look on the other end, they're still banged up as well, UCF. They go through the motions, I think. Tennessee Tech has not been bad. They lost by 5 at Georgia. They had a bad game against the Mexicans. That's the only outlier. They beat West Georgia. They beat VMI. I'm another big one. I'm locking Tennessee Tech. I think they stay within this number down at the Bounce House, Pelfrey and Company. So give me the Cookville boys.
All right. I am going to take the points, but I'm not going to tell you on the lot.
All right. Give me 25 with Cookville. No, wrong song. Fucking up with left and right. Ever since my light went out.
Throwing him off his game.
Yeah. Next up.
Let's see here. We have EKU at Chicago State.
Ugh.
The Colonels are on the road, -7.5 here at the World Tour. Chicago
First game,
State's
they're going
not
to be
look good this
favored.
year, buddy.
First
What?
game, EKU is going to be favored this year.
Yeah, but Chicago State's not look good this year.
I know. I'm taking Chicago State, but I don't think I'm going to bet them.
I'm going to lay the points with EKU. Since Gillian's left, I don't know if Chicago State's got it, dude.
They have not looked good since opening night. They look good.
They showed up for Loyola Chicago
Chicago,
intercity
yeah.
battle, but ever since then they've gotten drilled left and right.
The at Texas trip and at San Fran trip did not go well for my Cougars. That is a tough road spot. I mean, Texas and San Fran are pretty good, but yeah, I like Chicago State here. Home dog. I mean, come on.
I'm laying the points. I have to lay the points.
Chicago State.
The Catamounts of Western Carolina head into Winston-Salem to play Wake Forest. Wake Forest is laying 22 points against WCU. Wake Forest this season offensively has not really been themselves. Defensively, they've been fine, but they've actually, under Steve Forbes, this has never really been an issue, but they're struggling to shoot the three ball this year, Mac. Is Wake going to be able to pull away from the in-state little brother?
I don't think so. I think I like Western Carolina.
I think I do.
Who do you
too.
like?
Yeah.
Are you impressed with Wake? I know they beat Michigan.
No, I'm not. They are on the cocktail napkin only because they've struggled so much that there's possibly positive regression coming for the Deeks down the road. But I don't know. I haven't loved what I've seen so far from Wake. I'll take the 22 points. I think it's quite a bit.
Okay.
You in the same boat?
Yeah, I'm taking the points. No bet.
All right. Drexel at Fairfield. The Dragons are laying a point on the road here in this matchup. Mac, are you more of a Dragon or a Stag guy?
Stag. Wrong team's favored. I'm locking Fairfield. And Drexel's off of the Philly 5. Big 5 game where they all-out effort to beat LaSalle, came up just short. Now they got to hit the road. I just think Fairfield's better than Drexel this year. Drexel lost a lot from last year. So, yeah, give me Fairfield to win their third straight game here at home.
I will take Drexel only because they have lost back-to-back. And I think that Zach Spiker is a solid coach. I think that this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a close game, but I think Drexel comes out on top. I got nothing to sway me further on each side. I'm gonna take the point or lay the point with the Dragons.
I'm on Stags. Lock it up. Colby will be on Stags. We know that.
Okay, next game for us is Alabama A&M at Georgia. Are we laying the points? It's 25.5.
Yeah, I think so. No analysis needed.
Yeah. Georgia does have Marquette next in the Bahamas, but Alabama A&M, they've played 3 non-D1 opponents so far this season, and they lost by 10 at Tennessee State on Saturday. I think Georgia puts it on them here. Let's talk about Bethune-Cookman at Tulane. Colby would be locking up the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats in this spot.
Good.
Yeah. Tulane is laying 12 points, Mac.
Is that telling you Tulane's getting ready to fucking drill their ass? I think so.
If you're convinced and wanting it to tell you that, sure. And for what it's worth, I think it's too many points for this Tulane team. Still a lot of new pieces going on with the Green Wave. I'm going to take the points with Bethune-Cookman here.
Trying to see what the history. They haven't played. Tulane's off a tough loss. I think they open it up here. I'll lay with Tulane. Bethune sucks. Colby loves though.
Bethune also heading to Mexico.
Oh, look at it.
For an MTE.
Tulane, actually, the more and more I think about it, is almost a fringe lock. But I don't want to lay that many with Ron Hunter. I don't think his team's very good.
Okay. Let's head to Belmont. Belmont is hosting Oral Roberts. The Bruins are laying 10 points. In this one, Mac, I mean, both of us kind of share the same opinion that Oral Roberts just isn't as good as they've been in years past. What are you going to do in this matchup?
I think that's a tad too high, though. 10 points is Belmont. I'll take the points. I'm not gonna bet against put money on it though. Going against Belmont at home, but I just think 10's too many. Give me Bob Roberts here.
Yeah, Belmont's also heading to that Mexico MTE. I'm going to lay the points of Bruins, but no bet from me. Mac, Samford at Michigan State is an interesting one to me.
Yeah.
I'll let you lead off the analysis as I look something up. Samford's getting 17.5 points in East Lansing. What are you doing with this line?
I am going to lock Sparty. I think Sparty's going to open up a can here, win by 20 plus. They got woken up on Saturday night. Izzo's got their attention. Samford, remember last year when they played the bye games early? They got absolutely housed but by Purdue. I know Sparty's not Purdue, but I just think they're able to handle the buckyball in the press. I don't think that press is where it's at yet. I think Sparty's going to win by 20 to 30 here, so I will lock up Sparty.
So Sparty also has Maui on deck in this one. I looked something up. I was incorrect on the intuition, so not as interesting of a storyline as I thought it could have been. Mm-hmm. But I like the points. I'm going to take the points with the Bulldogs here. And
you want to battle?
Yeah, let's battle. Cocktail Napkins got it at 15.
All right.
And I like the Maui look ahead spot. I'm gonna fade that. So give me Samford.
Noah Bieniek, first battle of the night, going against Tom Izzo, taking the Bulldogs of Sparty. Who's your daddy, Noah? Tom Izzo. I'll take Sparty. That was a bedtime story for you. That's what Tom Izzo is going to do to you tomorrow.
Sure. 8 o'clock. This game will end at 10. I ain't going to bed another 7 hours later than that. UNC Wilmington heads to Lawrence. Kansas is laying 23 points here, Mac. The Jayhawks have Duke next.
Yeah, Self was not happy with his team the other night against Oakland. I know Wilmington is 3-0. I think Kansas is focused for this one. I'll lock up Kansas in the big number here. I think it's telling that it's over 20. Lock up the Jayhawks.
I'm also going to take the Jays just because I think you're correct. I'm like, that was not a good performance against Oakland.
Oh, they were awful.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lock this. I think the Duke look ahead is too much to get me onto that. But Wilmington's still good. Yeah, I'm not locking it.
It's a fog. You're blinking it away from you. Fog, yeah. Baby. Lock it up.
I'll lay it.
Solo.
Western Illinois at Northern Iowa. The Panthers are minus 15. Are the Leathernecks that bad this year?
Yeah, I think so. I'll lay it with Northern Iowa, but I don't want to bet that much.
Northern Iowa has a week in between their MTE next Thursday, so not much of a look at in that one whatsoever. I think it's too many points. I think both of these defenses are pretty good. And Western Illinois is going to get on the glass. Northern Iowa is one of the worst rebounding teams in the country. I think they keep it within the number. Give me the plus 15 with the Leathernecks.
All right.
Rider at Iowa. Iowa is minus 21.5 points in this one. Honestly, like I said earlier, Iowa's not looked incredible to me this season. Both Iowa teams, for whatever reason, have not been slaughtering teams in the non-conference so far this season like they are accustomed to doing in recent seasons. Iowa has Utah State next, like Mac mentioned earlier in this show. I'm going to take the points with Ryder. But, Mac, what are you going to do in this matchup?
This is their 5th straight road game, though. That's the thing, and they've won 3 in a row. I feel like Iowa's going to drill them. I'll lay with Iowa. No bet. I don't want to bet Iowa.
UT Arlington is at Missouri State. Bears laying 1.5 points against the Mavericks. Mac, this is a tough read for me. What do you got?
Good game. I think the wrong team's favored. I like Arlington. Arlington wins.
I do too. Both of these teams with MTEs on deck. I tend to like the Mavs a little bit more than Missouri State this season as well. I am kind of with you. I think they win this game.
I'm gonna bet it. Missouri State is off of a triple overtime game. I'm gonna fade the triple overtime angle. Give me UT Arlington to win outright.
Great poll.
Missouri State.
Great poll. I'm on the Mavericks with you. I think they win this thing outright, but give me the 1.5.
Are you locking it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Double lock. UT Arlington, baby. Hopefully they can make some shots like they did the other night against USC. That would help. Let's go, Mavericks.
Rob Donaldson says he's pulling for Kwanzaa, but I feel like he's gotten a raw deal in multiple stops. Cannabis Capper saying UT Arlington looked really good against USC, and I do agree. Mason also with us on Arlington outright. Charleston Southern at LSU. The Tigers minus 26.5 with an MTE in West Virginia on deck.
Pitt.
LSU also just beat Kansas State. Big road win. A little bit of a sandwich spot here. What are your thoughts?
Charleston Southern lock.
Wow.
Feel good about it. Remember they fucked around with Alabama State before the K-State game?
Yeah. Alabama State looked really good defensively against them. LSU couldn't figure out the zone. I watched too much of that game.
Locking it, or are you staying away?
No, I'm not going to lock it, but I'll take the 26.5. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. That's an overreaction. Give me Charleston Southern, the Buccaneers, lock it up.
Mississippi Valley State. We've had some fun monitoring their Twitter account lately. They are in Manhattan, Kansas to play the Wildcats of K-State, and they're getting 37.5 points. Kansas State does not look good enough to lay 37.5 against anybody right now, in my opinion. And they are heading to the Virgin Islands next.
I don't care. I'm locking up K-State.
This is way too many
destroyed
points.
his team in the press conference the other day.
What?
That means Mississippi Valley State's been at B-dubs for the last 48 hours on their Twitter account. They ain't ready to play.
Way too many points.
It's never
way
enough.
too many points. I'm doing the unthinkable. I am pulling the trigger on the Delta Devils.
Oh my God.
I am betting the Delta
You just
Devils.
like their Twitter account.
No. The cocktail napkin has them at 30. Kansas State has not looked like they've not looked like the team that I thought they were going to look like this season. New Orleans only lost by 24 against Kansas State. New Orleans looks terrible. Cleveland State only lost by 13. Michigan just beat Cleveland State by 50. And I don't think Michigan has really met my expectations yet this season either. And they lost by 11 to LSU. Sure, they probably want to bounce back after the loss, but they've got a nice little trip to the Virgin Islands on deck. I think the Delta Devils cover the number. I think they put up 30 points and they lose something like 65 to 30, and they cover this by at least 2.5 points. This is what I would advise to bet this later, like near tip. It's going to grow maybe to 40. Who knows? I think Mississippi Valley State is the right side tomorrow. I am betting Mississippi Valley State. Go Delta Devils.
Kansas State wins 101 to 44. That's my prediction. They are going to annihilate them just like Missouri just did. Missouri and K-State are too far apart. We'll battle here. Noah Bieniek buying in to the Valley State Delta Devils B-dubs trip. They got right there. Moneyline Max saying 10 gang. You better win by 60 here, or we're gonna have some real concerns. Real talk. All right.
The chat loves this, by the way. They are they are loving this. Delta Devils dynasty starts here. It's their moment. Bounce back spot. Roger. K-State going to be up by 40 at halftime. Mississippi Valley State, if they top 45, he'd consider that a win.
This is gonna be you at halftime with the napkin. You're gonna be like, why did you tell me it was 31? They're down 31 at the end. I
haven't seen anything from Kansas State to make me want to lay 37.5 against anybody.
Missouri? You saw something from Missouri?
Yeah, I was on the Delta Devils in that one too. I wasn't sure what you were saying in that. I didn't bet them. This time I'm betting them. Like Kansas State looks like a disaster right now.
They can be a disaster and win by 60. That's how bad the B-dubs team is.
It is way too many points. It's way too many points. We've gone like too far off a cliff. Let's come back to reality. Kansas State is not beating this team by 40.
Who does Mississippi Valley have on deck? Where do they go from here?
Why does it matter?
They go to BYU and Utah after this for Thanksgiving. They're gonna soak for Thanksgiving. That's a clash in culture out there. Mississippi Valley State Team B-dubs going to see BYU and Utah for the holiday weekend. Let's go. Oh, this is fantastic. Shout out to Valley State. I love it.
Oh, man. It's incredible, too. Like, we were talking about this. Actually, we had like a 10-minute conversation about Valley State last night. I did not envision myself betting them, let alone picking them, until it was at 37.5. It's like we've gone off the reservation.
Why didn't West Virginia get Mississippi Valley on the fucking schedule?
Yeah, you guys need to. They're taking trips to Utah for crying out loud. Get them up there in the boondocks.
Oh man, I can't believe that they have the back-to-back in Utah coming up after this. Didn't they just watch what Queens did out there? Oh god. Oh yeah, Lord.
They're just collecting checks left and right. There's no shame in their game either. They've made that known.
I know the exact B-dubs that they were at. They were freaking watching NFL Sunday yesterday, taking fireball shots, Jaeger bombs. They aren't going to be ready to play tomorrow. You're going to be down 20 at the under 12 timeout.
I did this once last year, not quite on Valley, I did it I did it with Pine Bluff against Oklahoma when they were getting like 45 points, and it lost by the hook. I'm telling you, this number is just way, way off. Alcorn State heads to Fort Worth to play TCU. Horned Frogs minus 31.5. Mac, are you going in with another Big 12 team here, laying a big spread?
Oh, the system is alive and well. We got some Big 12 HBCU challenge for you. Yeah, lock up TCU. This is as long as they're healthy, unlike that one year, they should absolutely annihilate them off the Michigan loss.
That's a good point.
Sorry, Alcorn. Bad. Alcorn and Mississippi Valley. Good Lord.
That's a good point. I'm going to take the points with Alcorn. No lock here. But yeah, TCU did just get handled by Michigan. Nice little bounce back angle here for the Horned Frogs, possibly. Southern Utah is playing in Chicago against Loyola Chicago, and the Ramblers are minus 14. Mac, what's your pick here?
Is this too high? I mean, Loyola's look good, and I feel like Southern Utah. So this is the battle of 4-0 teams. Southern Utah. Is this their first true road game?
Yes.
I'll lay it. I'll lay with Loyola Chicago, actually. First true road game going out to Chicago. I think they're the more proven 4-0 team versus
I agree.
Southern Utah.
I agree, but I think Loyola Chicago struggles to beat anybody by 15 points. So I'm going to take the points with the Thunderbirds there. Rice at Louisiana. The Raging Cajuns are laying 4.5 points in this game. Mac, I'm going to lay the points with Louisiana. I think it's just a passionate crowd that I think gets their team across the line. This is a short spread. I think it's good enough for the Raging Cajuns to get it done.
I had the same thoughts. I think Louisiana actually is a fringe lock. They just got absolutely embarrassed by Houston. I'm going to bet that.
The only reason that I'm staying away is that they're heading to the Virgin Islands this week, Friday. So,
is Rice though headed somewhere too?
No, they're broke.
Rice is also off an overtime game against Northwestern State. So yeah, I'll lock up the Cajuns. Let's go, Cajun on.
Rice has Houston Christian next, Bahamas next week for the Owls there. The big game of the night, Purdue at the Fiserv Forum to take on Marquette, and the Golden Eagles are laying 4.5 points. Didn't Purdue just beat Alabama, Mac?
Did it? Yeah.
The cocktail napkin says something smells here. Purdue should be -3 here. Boilermakers probably going to be catching some public action tomorrow. Mac, I talked about this with you and Colby a couple of days ago that I was eyeing up this spot. You go ahead, though. I'll let you lead. What's your pick in this one?
What's the streak at now for Purdue non-conference wins in a row?
They have not lost a non-conference game in 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
In the regular season. They've lost tournament games, obviously.
Lost Tobin Anderson, baby, and UConn. Two dynasties, Tobin Anderson and UConn. Make a note of that.
Yeah. It was December 8th, 2021 was their last non-conference loss against Miami.
Interesting. It's been a minute. I think Purdue's going to get blown out tomorrow.
I'm in the same boat with you.
I was on Purdue Friday night. Yeah, I was on Purdue Friday night. It was fantastic. It was a phenomenal win at Mackey. But this is a game where you miss a guy like Zach Edey. I think Purdue's going to be auto back at Mackey all year, but they're going to be very fadeable on the road just because they don't have a dominant player. That place is going to be absolutely going bonkers in Milwaukee. Shaka and company. I think they win by double digits. It may be like that Baylor game a couple years ago where Baylor walked into the buzzsaw and Marquette just hit him right in the mouth. Marquette, I think, opens it up.
This is a scheduled loss. Like when you scheduled Alabama this year at home, and then given that you knocked off Alabama, this is an immediate letdown spot on the road in a ruckus environment in Milwaukee. Marquette, I think, puts it on Purdue in this spot, not only because of the letdown spot for Purdue. 2 years ago, Marquette went into Mackey. They were leading that game for a lot of it. They lose by 5 to Purdue. Yeah. Last season, they lose to Purdue in Maui because of a half-court first-half buzzer beater. They lost the game by 3. They've had this game circled on their schedule the entire preseason. I think Marquette gets the job done. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm fading the Boilermakers. It does not happen often, but -4. Go ahead, lock it up on Marquette. This one, I'd be interested to see what happens with this line when the public gets their hands on it tomorrow. I think that Purdue might end up being public.
Well, yeah, they probably will be because they're ranked higher, and usually the ranking higher is the public side. So I think it'll stay around 4.5. I think 4.5 is right.
Okay, I'm gonna lock it up. Marquette -4. I was eyeing the spot since the beginning of the season.
Chat seems to really like Purdue. People don't think Marquette's good. I mean, I was impressed with them at Friday night against Maryland on the road. Cam Jones, baby, lock it up.
I totally fell asleep on catching up with the beloved College Experience YouTube chat. We've got 285 of you guys currently in here at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time after the San Diego State Gonzaga basketball game. We were holding out to watch that. Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to display all those because I fell asleep while doing that game analysis. Yeah, I think Marquette gets it done. Montana State heads to Chicago. Just Evansville, just a little bit east of it, to play Northwestern. The Wildcats are -15 against Montana State. Similar line to when I locked up Montana State against Wisconsin, Mac. Your thoughts? What are you going to do in this matchup?
Do you want to go back to the well here? They're off an overtime game, Northwestern.
Yeah, Cocktail Napkin has this right on the button at 15. Montana State also coming off an altitude game against Denver. They lost it, by the way. Not real enthusiastic about getting behind the Bobcats once again. So I'm just going to sit this one out. I'm going to take the points, but no luck.
And how many fucking road games have they played in a row?
I think they hosted a non-D1 in there.
Okay. All right. I'll stay away. I think they lose by right around that 15 number.
Yeah, they beat the snot out of Northwest Indian. That poor guy.
Yeah, not very good.
Eastern Illinois plays DePaul tomorrow. And the Blue Demons, RuPaul's Blue Balls, are laying 18.
Oh, my God. 18? What is the world come to?
Cocktail Napkin has this at 12.5. This is just crazy. This is a lock.
I mean, who's DePaul got on deck? Just out of curiosity.
I don't even care. I'm locking up the Panthers.
And it is a little brother game, like Trevor said. I mean, they got up for Northwestern. They'll get up for this one too. DePaul has Northern Illinois on deck. So yeah, they're making the little Illinois tour here. DePaul wins by 13. Yeah, let's go. Lock it up. Too much respect for Panthers. D-I-E-I-O.
Last game on the slate, UC Riverside at Santa Clara. What the hell's happened with the Broncos that I used to love?
Smash spot at home. Santa Clara.
They're laying 7.5.
Oh, that's my favorite one to lay. Lay the 7.5, take 5.5. You know my smash.
Riverside's looked good though this year, dude.
Yeah, I think this dog has fleas. I think Santa Clara puts it on him.
I'm also going to take the Broncos, but no bet from me.
All right, I got to have some action 10 o'clock window. Santa Clara, Bronc on, baby. Let's go. And that does it.
Yeah, it does. That is the slate for today. Favorite bets. Last night, I let you start. So tonight, I will go. My favorite play of the day is Marquette. Like I said, I had this. This is just a little bit of a rough scheduling from Matt Painter. I think this is just a scheduled loss, and I think Marquette gets the job done on the money line. If you don't feel comfortable laying the 4, but I think Marquette gets this thing done, wins by 5 or more. It's a tremendous spot because they've lost to Purdue in back-to-back seasons by 5 points and 3 points, and last one last year was in Maui. I think they get it done on their home floor. Eastern Illinois plus 18 is my second favorite bet tomorrow against DePaul. I am relatively like to a point high on DePaul, higher than you and Colby were this season on the Blue Demons, but this is just too many points. And my third favorite play of the day is Bowling Green minus 9.5. Mac, you're up. Return serve.
Marquette was definitely at the top of mine. I got Kansas actually up there. It's not often that they don't cover back-to-back home games. So at the Fog self-called out his team, I think that they respond big tomorrow. I know it's 22 against Wilmington, but I think it's a nice smash spot. And then number 3, the Seminoles of Florida State against Hofstra. Great spot with them coming down there on their third straight road game. So give me Marquette, Kansas, Florida State, some chalk for me tomorrow night.
All right. Colby will be back in the office tomorrow night. Speaking of tomorrow night. If you're looking to follow my friend here, Ryan McIntyre, on Twitter, do so at moneyline_Mac. If you're looking to follow myself, Noah Bieniek, on that platform, NoahB77_ and anywhere else on social media. If you're looking to follow the show, at TCE on SGPN, and right now send in a picture of maps. Map out the furthest distance you've gone for scattered ass. We're doing a contest. We'll talk about it more with Colby back on the show. I think that's a show. Mac, anything else you want to wrap it up with?
The path for 15K. Don't forget to subscribe. Take your girlfriend's phone, take your mom's phone, take whoever's phone at the bar while they're drunk and subscribe. Takes 2 seconds. It's a free fucking show, everybody. All we ask is you subscribe. We know. We see the analytics or the scatalytics or whatever for scattered ass. Get off your lazy ass and fucking subscribe. We do a pregame show for you every night, and we do a pick show, and we love doing it. But all we ask is you subscribe and tell a friend.
Great wrap up there. This has been the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.